everyone, and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making lemon blueberry muffins. You can also turn this into a bread. It's delicious. So let's get started. In a bowl you're going to need a half a cup of sugar, 1 cup of flour, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I might put a little bit extra in. This is for your topping. I think I'll do a little bit more. I like cinnamon on my muffins. Okay. And then we're going to add 6½ tablespoons of melted butter. Or let's first whisk this together. Then we'll add the butter. Make sure you whisk it pretty good and get all that cinnamon mixed throughout.
Hit your local farm stands, you can get the fresh blueberries.
Exactly. Alright, so now we're going to add our butter. Make sure you get all the butter out. Preheat your oven to 400. Alright, now we're going to mix this all together with a spoon. I've already washed and dried my blueberries. They're sitting on the counter back there on paper towels. I like to put them on the paper towel to make sure that you get all these stems off. Because sometimes there's those little stems that stick.
Those are just built-in toothpicks.
Yeah. Alright, I'm still mixing this pretty good. It's all coming together.
This is the crumb topping then?
Yes.
Cool.
Now, on the crumb topping, you definitely can cut it in half, but we like a lot of crumb on our muffins, so I didn't cut mine in half.
Yeah, we like crummy muffins.
Alright, so now I'm just going to take a fork and I'm just going to kind of break the pieces apart that's in here.
That way you don't get any big lumps of flour or sugar.
Right. I'm just making sure it's all mixed in. I'll get you a peek here in a sec. What it should look like.
We'll come over and look.
Alright, so you want it crumbly like this. Okay, everything's mixed together. And now we're going to set this back in the refrigerator until we're ready to use it. And then we're going to move on to our muffins. Alright, so we're moving on to the muffins. In a large bowl, you're going to need 1½ cups of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, now we're just going to give that a good whisk. You know, we're whisking that together. I'm just going to set that aside. Now in another bowl, you're going to need 2/3 cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. You're going to put that in your sugar.
Make sure you get the zest and not the pith.
Exactly. And now you're going to take your fingers and you're going to rub that lemon zest all through your sugar. So you don't get those big clumps of lemon zest in your muffins. This helps that out.
Oh,
And it smells amazing.
It does smell good. I thought it just made the lemon flavor in the sugar.
It does, but it helps to keep
breaks it up too.
It helps to keep it from clumping, because sometimes you get your lemon zest and it clumps in your mixture.
Yeah, like it does on the plate when you're grating it.
Alright, so alright, now we're going to add 2 eggs to this.
Farm fresh eggs at that.
Exactly. And fresh lemon juice. Anything you can get fresh right now in the summer, go for it.
And yes, those are green eggs.
Yeah, and the yolks are really, really, like orange. All right, let me just put my hands. All right, now I'm gonna whisk this together.
Are you done with these measuring cups?
No.
Oh, moving them out of the way.
Okay.
Done with the salt though, right?
Yes. All right, so I'm mixing this together. When it's combined, we're going to put in 2/3 cup of Greek yogurt. You can use any Greek yogurt you want. This is actually vanilla flavored because that's what I had at home, so that's what I'm using.
What is the plain flavor of the plain yogurt?
Nothing, it's just
Oh,
yogurt.
just yogurt.
Yeah, that's so you can add things to it like granola or berries or
Oh, okay.
a lot of recipes call for plain yogurt. It really doesn't matter in this. I would do a lemon, that would really enhance the lemon, a blueberry, or like I said, I'm using vanilla flavored. Just make sure you whisk that together really well. All right, now I'm going to add my lemon juice, which is 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. My oil, which is 1/3 of a cup. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
This is the first recipe she's doing since getting her cast off of her arm.
Yeah, that's why it's a little hard for me to stir. That's why it takes me a little bit longer. All right, so we're going to whisk that together. Just get that vanilla mixed in there really well. And always use real vanilla. Do not use imitation. All right, now we're going to add in our liquids to our dry ingredients. Alright, and now we're just going to fold that in. And remember, you go down and over, down and over. And just mix that in really well. You don't want to overmix this now.
That's what you think. Are all of your blueberries going in?
Yeah, you use part on top and part in.
Oh, okay.
But I just need to mix this in really well first. Because if I put the blueberries in now,
You'll break them up.
yeah, the dough will be all blue and the blueberries will be all smashed.
Nothing wrong with blueberry muffins.
Still have a little bit of flour showing. Alright, now I have that all really combined nicely. It's a little lumpy, that will be fine. Now we're going to take our blueberries. We're going to need, let me see what we need. 1 1/3 cups of blueberries. You're going to take a 1/2 cup and set it to the side. Because those are going to be the ones that go on top of the the muffins just to add a little bit more blueberry to them.
Like 37 pounds of blueberries isn't enough.
Yeah. Alright, once you have your batter all mixed well, you're going to take a half a cup of blueberries and set them to the side. And the rest of your blueberries you're going to put in a bowl, and you're going to put 1 tablespoon of flour on them and mix it together with your hand. What the flour does, it stops them from all the blueberries sinking to the bottom of your muffins. They'll be throughout your muffins then. So I'm just going to make sure these are all covered really well. And I'm going to put them in. Don't pour all that flour in at the bottom. Kind of stop it right before you get it. There'll be flour in the bottom, okay? Alright, now I'm going to fold them in. And gently fold them in.
Some of them will break. That's, you know.
Yeah, because some of them are softer than others and things like that.
Delicate like me.
And just make sure you keep going on the sides and then go into the middle and turn it over. So that way you have blueberries throughout your muffins. Just making sure I get all the dough mixed with the blueberries. Alright, now we're just going to start filling our muffin tins, and they have to be 2/3 full. Alright, so I just use a ice cream scoop, and I just put them in.
Take a look.
And using this ice cream scoop, they'll all be even. Alright, once you have them all full, you're going to kind of count it down. Alright, now you're going to take your reserved blueberries and you're going to put some on the top. I'm just doing 2 right now, and if I have leftovers, I'll go back around, okay? Alright, now we're going to put on our crumb topping. I'm just going to break it apart a little bit. Because it will kind of harden up in the refrigerator, but you can definitely break it with your hand really easy. The reason we put it in the refrigerator is because we actually want that butter to be cold so that it holds its shape onto the muffin. Alright, and then you're just going to put some on top of your muffins. Alright, once you have your crumb on top, and I didn't have any crumb left over, so whatever they were saying on the internet, maybe they made bigger muffins and put just a little topping on. I don't know. We like a lot of topping, so I just used it. So now you're going to put this in a 400-degree oven for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, turn your oven down to 375, and we're going to bake them for 13 to 15 minutes or until toothpick comes out clean. Alright, so after the initial 5 minutes and you turn it down to 375, at 375 mine took exactly 13 minutes. Take a look at those. Don't they look amazing?
They look amazing, but they smell even better.
They smell really good.
The whole freaking house stinks like these things.
Alright,
Oh my
so
God.
please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you. it.